The Bhagavad Gita is full of symbolism, and with very good reason. The biggest symbol is it being set on a battlefield. This basically implies, when it comes to the question of dharma, of spirituality, we are indeed faced with a matter of life and death. We have to be ready for such a transformation. We have to be ready for that fire of rejuvenation. And that sometimes means being on the battlefield of life. Only then can we be reborn. To have that kind of courage, even though we may be trembling, we may be shivering inside, we may be afraid in the inner, but that doesn't mean that we do not go into battle. We are on the threshold of something, and being on the threshold, being at the very edge, only then does transformation happen. So that is the main symbolism of the Gita. Now the other thing is that the Gita is surrounded by people. Arjuna is surrounded by people who he loves, but at the same time he has to fight them. Now it is a test of his heart. It is a test of his spirit of warriorhood. This very idea of being surrounded by people who are not just your enemies, but who are also your closest near and dear ones. They are attached to you. So it's a question of being able to be spiritual, even in the midst of human attachment. So this symbolism of human attachment is also very primary in the Gita. And the third thing in the Gita, which is of great symbolism, is the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna themselves. Now, is it possible that in the midst of the battlefield, where they're surrounded by so many people, is it possible to have such a dialogue? So much time it's taking. The battle is about to start. Krishna shows his Virat Roop, his greater cosmic form. Is it all possible physically? Well, the question is that the voice is not to be heard literally, but the voice of the heart is to be heard. So the Gita is all about hearing the message of the divine deep within our own heart. In other words, the voice of Krishna is deep within us and resides as our inner consciousness. So if you look at the Bhagavad Gita in that way, as Krishna residing within each one of us, and each one of us being an Arjun to whom Krishna is constantly trying to speak on this battlefield of life, we would understand the Gita not just as a literal happening, but as a symbolism, as a symbolic drama being played out every day of our lives, every day of our existence. The voice of the divine, as represented by Krishna, wants to speak to us from deep within our heart, which is another word for deep within our consciousness. But we are to pay attention to that voice. So that is the secret symbolism of the Gita. And it has a practical relevance for us because it makes the Gita seem more available, more alive. It is within us, and it is up to us to heed this transcendent, blissful song of the divine within us.